Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Millie and I run a little calligraphy business called Blink Lettering. If you fancy getting some prints or gifts or cards, be sure to head over to my Etsy shop. You'll also find some workbooks there if you want to learn calligraphy yourself as well. So today I'm bringing you another review, and I was really excited about these when I found out about them, and I saw loads of people sharing them all over Instagram and in a few different Facebook groups that I'm in, so I thought I'd get my hands on them as well. And they are the Paperchase pens. I actually didn't realise they had two different types of brush pens going on, but when I went into the store in my hometown I saw both of these boxes, so I figured, why not? Let's get both of them. So these are the ones that I've been seeing pretty much all over Instagram and in Facebook groups, and these are the dual end markers, and you can get 24 in a box. So these are kind of similar to the Tombow dual brush pens, I guess. So they've got a bullet tip on one end and then they've got a brush tip at the other end. Look at all the pretty colours. So we've got black, and then it has a few blue shades, and then we go into yellow and green and a really lovely dark green there. And then we've got grey, some oranges. I love the brightness of this orange. And then we go into some pinks, reds, another dark blue, and then a brown as well. I'll try and swatch all of these colours, but I also have the other pack of pens to try out too, and there's 48 in that pack, so got a lot to get through. So this is the other box of pens I got, and these are the brush tip markers. So they don't have a bullet tip one end, they just have a brush tip the other. And I wasn't actually going to get both boxes, but one, there's way more colours in this one. And two, the nibs looked slightly different in size on these, so I'm intrigued to see the difference between the two pens in terms of the brush tip. So this box folds all the way out like this. And look at all the pretty colours. Yeah. I actually really love these boxes that they've come in. It just makes it so much easier to store all these pens, because right now I've got all of my pens over here and these are just easy to grab ones, but then I have a drawer down here which is just full and a bit of a mess. So I think I'm gonna definitely keep these in these boxes, but just because they're so handy and they're pretty good to travel with as well. Ooh. So I'm looking forward to trying out both these and comparing the different brush tips and trying out all the pretty colours. So I got a lot of pens here. So I think I will swatch all of them, but I'll just do like a little scribble for each colour just so you can see what the colours are like. But I do want to see what they are like for lettering as well. So I've just taken the black from both sets and we can just compare the two different brushes and see what they're like. So the first one I've got is the dual end marker. So at one end it's got this really small bullet tip, and then at the other end is a brush tip. And then this one is just the brush marker. So I do think that the brush tips are slightly different sizes. So I think this one might end up being a bit smaller and this one might be a bit more flexible. So we'll give them a go and see what they're like. So this is the dual marker and then this is the brush tip. They did feel a little bit different to write with, and actually this one seems a bit more pigmented than this one. The nib for the brush marker, as I expected, was a little bit more flexible, so doing the thin lines is a little bit harder. I absolutely love how thin the bullet tip is on these dual end markers. I really like how thin they are, so they'd be perfect for adding shadow details or extra line illustrations to any of your lettering. Now both these pens do have quite a large brush tip, so they might be a little bit harder for beginners to get on with. However, I think they're kind of cheap. Let me just double check. Yeah, so this pack was £10 and that's for 24 colours. And this pack was also £10, but you get 48 colours. Obviously you don't get the bullet tip at the other end, but you do get a lot more colours. However, I have to say, so far, I think I'm preferring the dual end brush pen rather than the brush tip marker. I think the brush tip on that one just feels a little bit nicer. I'm just gonna try out a few more words and see what it's like. So the dual brush marker definitely feels more pigmented. I don't know if you can tell on this one, but you can kind of see where my letters join just because the ink is a little bit more see-through. Also with the thin lines, they're a little bit more textured and not as neat. Personally, I much prefer these kind of thicker lines, but they're not as textured. I am going to do a little swatch test for all of them now so you can see what they're like. Whoa, that's neon! I love how pretty that is. So I really like this first line of colours. I absolutely love these blues and the black's really pigmented. I adore this neon yellow. I love bright colours. These two are pretty similar, and to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of the actual colour of them. And then this green isn't as dark as I thought it would be compared to what the barrel looks like. But apart from that, they look really pretty and they're all pretty pigmented as well. So these colours all super pretty as well. I did accidentally use this red colour twice, so my bad. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed that none of the oranges were as neon as this yellow. It did look like maybe some of them might be, judging by the barrel, but none of them were as fluorescent. I also was a little bit confused why there's this dark blue down at this end when all the blues are at the top. But actually, it's turned out it's kind of like a purple, kind of a purpley blue. And then this brown is a bit more of like a light red rather than a brown. It's not as dark as I thought it would be. But all of these are still super pigmented, and I love the variety of shades that you get as well. I do think some of these oranges are quite similar though, and these yellows as well. However, in general, I love the palette. They're really pretty. And I quite like this grey. It's quite a cool tone grey, but it's not too light and it's not too dark as well. Now to test out the big boy. So this pack has way more shades. I mean, double the amount of shades. There are 48 in this pack, and then there's only 24 in the other pack. So right away, I know that there's going to be way more colours, and there's probably a lot of the same colours already in this pack too. However, I'm intrigued to see what they'll come out like, because when I was testing out the lettering, they didn't seem as pigmented as the jewel ended. So I'm just going to have a little play doing all these swatches and see what they're like afterwards. So there's obviously quite a lot of colours that are the same for the dual end markers as for the brush tip. However, there's a massive variety of shades here. Firstly, I love how many more purples there are in this pack. It's a bit of a shame there's only one purple in the dual end markers, especially when there's like 3 blues and then 2 reds that are quite similar and 2 oranges that are quite similar, and we've also got some other reds down here as well. So it would have been good to like bring some of these purples into this pack, I think. There are a few colours that are really similar, like these teal turquoise colours right at the top. They all look pretty much the same to me. There's like a slight difference in shade, but they're all pretty similar. And then we've got a few oranges here that are quite similar too. I really love this pastel orange colour down at the bottom, and there's a nice little neon green that's kind of been brought in with this yellow. Now this one kind of looks like a gold. It's not metallic, but when it first came out I did think it was metallic, but it's not. But it's actually created quite a nice gold colour. And I really like this colour too. This would be really good for adding shadows onto your letters. These did actually seem a little bit more pigmented for the other colours. I think it's just the black that's not as pigmented, which is a little bit of a bug for me because I like a deep dark black. So if I had to pick between the two of these, then I'd probably go for the dual end markers. Although they're the same price and you get way more colours in these brush tip marker packs, I really love the fact that these come with a little bullet tip at the other end, and it's super fine, so it's perfect for adding detail or shadows or doing really lovely line illustrations. I also think that you already get quite a nice variety of colour in the dual end markers, whereas there are quite a few shades that are really similar in the brush tip markers, and also it's just a little bit smaller and compact. However, I do love the boxes they both come in, and I'll definitely be storing them in those. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and it helped you decide whether these pens are for you. I absolutely love all the bright colours and the boxes are so handy. If you enjoyed watching this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will leave a link in the description below for where you can get these pens online, and I will see you next time. Bye!